All right, yo. Welcome back to another episode of this Dream Chasers Insanity. It is your psychopath dropout professor, Rockstar Life. Yeah. Dark Wizard this. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves today. And I hope you guys are still taking care of yourselves after the election, regardless of how it went for you. I'm assuming for so many people that subscribe to me, it went very negatively. And if anybody else who does, if it went positively for you, I mean, leave your opinions below. What do you think? What do you think that we have to look forward to in our immediate future, especially as marginalized people? Is this a new America that really does serve the American people, or are some of us about to lose our status as American people? Maybe something to work on the journal. I don't know. I'm just the ideas guy. I'm just the visionary. So, before we get into the video, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I know you're going to fuck with this shit. I know you're going to like this video. So go ahead and check us out and help us get through the algorithm. And I'll say thank you now, and I hope it gets to you in a couple of virtual business seconds. But if you'd like to support the channel in any other way, go ahead and check out our Patreon channel. Got a couple of cool things going on over there. Or check out our clothing brand, Sexy Little Shirt. So if you're a sexy person and you're wearing a sexy shirt, I think that just makes you super sexy. And imagine if you're doing that in your real life. Imagine how much better your life gets when you can doubly sexier in your real life. I just think that's a win-win. So how about we just help each other win? And that's it for the promo, huh? Those are getting more smooth now, huh? Those are getting way more smooth now, but I don't want you to feel like this is anything more than just supporting a creator that you fuck with. That's I'm realizing how important it is, especially for like left-leaning, politically people, to be a part of the independent media rather than the mainstream media and the corporately funded media, because where they will have to get paid and show up to events and webinars and what is it, seminars, because they got paid by a specific political party or something. Like, I can just speak my mind, and I can know that it's real people that are behind me. I don't have to sit here and hold back my opinions on like what's happening to the Palestinians and what's happening in Gaza. I don't have to hold back my opinions on abortion, on women's rights. I don't have to hold back my opinions on black people and reparations and the fucking CIA literally being built to work on projects that are like specifically destroying our community. And how Harvard is literally a funnel for the I'm gonna have to do some more research before I finish that one. But I'm just so blessed to be a part of the independent media and to know that like there is sustenance on this side of life. And even though it may not be one that can put me in alignment with these freaking billionaire content creators, the fucking Hasanabis and whatnot, you know, I appreciate my ability to be able to speak my truth and to be able to broadcast my truth to people that are here for me and for my journey and for my perspective. They're not here because they're supposed to be here. They're not here because, the obligation. They're here because they choose to be here. And that's the relationship that I fuck with more than anything, bro. So thank you for being here, bro. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, the mainstream media, liberal mainstream media is cooked. Like, this is the only opinion I'm trying to give on the election before I drop my little mini series over the next coming weeks. But left-leaning and liberal mainstream media is done. If you're a left-leaning person and you're like a content creator or an influencer or like just like a regular person who just makes content online, you are the new face of left-leaning media. I'm telling you right now, bro. Nobody, right, left, center, nobody trusts left-leaning media, and very, very, very few people have any faith in the future of the Democratic Party. Unless young people bust in the back door and take that shit hostage, they aren't going to let us in the door. They aren't going to let us through the front. So that's the only political opinion I'm going to give right now. And I'm not inciting January 6th. I'm saying all of that figuratively. Don't bust in the back door, literally. I'm saying all of this like, if we don't, as young people, say, no, we are capable, we are ready to lead, to build, to execute plans, then who's stopping us other than our own self-doubt and limitations and all the insecurities that these other old people project onto us because they're jealous that we can actualize our truth way faster, way more efficiently, way more immediately than they ever had the opportunity to. And they had to sit and wait behind so-and-so. And they had to date this politician so they could wait 30 years to get this role. And they had to go sleep with this senator. And they had to do this. And I'm not saying that anybody had to do any of this stuff. But they had to go party with this person. And they had to go put... Like, you guys don't understand. It's not like... And I'm not saying this to say like, oh, women politicians are sleeping with men. Like, no. You guys don't understand how deep the underground world is behind general society, especially how deep the world government is and how fraternal it is in the sense of to trust you. We don't just trust you because you went to Harvard. We need you to do some wicked shit to know that we can trust you and to know that, like, if you hinder on this trust or this bond and this agreement that we've made, we can make sure that, like, nobody gives a fuck about you and your reputation is ruined. And it won't even matter what we did because we're going to show something that you did that's going to fucking wipe it out the water. All politicians be doing it. Get the homophobia out of your head. Get the misogyny out of your head. Get the thinking that it is only the vulnerable who are willing to, or who can be exploited for opportunity. Because there are people who are willing to exploit themselves for opportunity, bro. And a lot of these politicians be, the way that you guys be looking at sex workers, you need to look at politicians. Where sex workers sell their body, a politician sells their fucking soul. I promise you that. I promise you that. Where a sex worker may sell their body as a means of serving themselves and accommodating themselves, which is something that you can't judge in a system that forces everybody to make their own money and doesn't have a safety net. A politician chooses out of their own narcissism to sell their soul for the sake of being validated by the people, but accepted by the upper class. The same upper class that they sell dreams to this lower class that they are policing. Like, this shit is so sick, bro. It is so disgusting. And that's why, like, after I drop my little mini series about, like, the future of America for the next 25 years, I'm not going to make any more opinions on American politics until everything that I've said comes true. Because about a third of it has come true already to this point. So now I'm starting to realize, like, now it's like God or the universe telling me, like, dude, you got to just drop this right now and just let everything just come and just reward you on the back end. Not reward, because there's some dark shit in there. But yeah, now I'm getting lost in the political shit, and this wasn't even supposed to be about that. Yeah, you guys will see how disappointed I am in America. My black ass is in America, and how we young people are the future, and these oldies exposed it. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. And that's okay. That's A-okay. But now let's get into the video. The main thing that I'm talking about. Because I just had to address the fact that this election is crazy, bro. Final note. I'm sorry. I have to just say this part right here. For all the Super Bowl level of marketing that went into this election, I think it said the Kamala campaign spent like, what, $1 billion? $750 million on marketing. Dude, content creation is free. You can create posts on TikTok and Instagram for free. And these people spent $750 million on marketing, and they didn't even hit their target audience. The day I knew that the Kamala Harris campaign was run by white women and it was intentionally being sabotaged? When she went on the Call Her Daddy podcast. What of your marginalized audience listens to that shit? I'm sorry, whoever the girl is that runs that, you're a little beautiful girl, but who of our people, what leftist liberal who wants to fill their mind with some applicable knowledge and wisdom to help develop their political conscious, their social conscious, who the fuck is watching that? And mind you, even worse, you sabotaged what's her name's all of that one, all of that girl's community, split them all up, and you never had to do that, bro. Knowing Kamala was gonna lose, knowing it was a setup, you never had to do all that shit. But I'm not. Again, I'm getting. I don't want to get too into my political opinions until I drop my literal political PhD hit piece, called "No Land for Good Men," which is basically just gonna, in the shortest way I can say it, is the next 5 years of America will dictate the next 25 years of this country. And if we fuck up, it'll dictate the next 50. So there's so much to get into, but I cannot get into it here because then I'm going to be apart from the conversation I'm trying to have with y'all. But let me cut this down and let's get into it. All right. I've been really having these conversations in my head about confidence and attempting to make a decent, like, hold on, my throat is so freaking dry, bro. I'm sorry. This is not a sponsored ad. Okay. So where was I talking about? I'm trying to, because I have the potential to overdo shit. Like, I genuinely have the potential to really overdo shit. And I'll blame the ADHD, but obviously nobody cares, and it's just called rejecting responsibility. So I take that as a character flaw. I blame that on my passion. And I'm starting to realize I need to create some kind of understanding or separation between what cockiness and arrogance looks like versus pure, genuine, like, confidence. So this is what my brain has allowed me to access, or at least has allowed me to understand, so I can navigate being as confident as I am in myself without ever presenting myself in a way that is cocky or arrogant. But knowing that's going to end up happening to people who don't know how to receive confident people, or people who are just like insecure naturally. What I've been learning is that confidence is two parts. God damn, look at those freaking alien fingers, bro. I don't have 6 toes though. So actually that crooked finger might do some of you ladies. Back to the point. Confidence is one of two parts. The first part of that is self-acceptance. You have to believe your own bullshit. The second part of that is self-actualization. And not in the point of like just being yourself, but expressing yourself, going on the process of becoming yourself. And in doing that, not giving a fuck about what other people think, or at least being able to only receive what you can use to apply to continue to develop your consciousness, while being able to let all the negativity, all the projections of insecurity, all the bullshit just fall to the wayside. And you can see critique and constructive criticism and differentiate that from projection of insecurities. Because most people would rather hold you back by projecting their insecurities onto you and hoping you internalize them and end up accepting them, than you rejecting that projection and you standing firm on how much you accept yourself and believe in yourself and respect your ability to do so. So, and this is also one thing that I realized, because I'm very autistic, like very naive minded autistic, like thinking that the world is all freaking rainbows and unicorns and then walking out and realizing it's fucking hell. Especially if you're healing as like a people pleaser, people are like, when you go from a non-confident person or like an insecure person to a confident person, you literally have to change the people that you hang around to other confident people, or at least people that are more confident than you, so you can keep being inspired in developing that confidence and knowing that it's your ability to accept yourself and your ability to shamelessly actualize yourself. Because I'm telling you, and I say this on my TikTok all the time, them insecure people are not going to just straight up tell you. Maybe if they get angry at you, they'll tell you to your face, like, oh, that idea is not going to work. Or like, you really think you're the shit? You're not the shit. Maybe when they're drunk, maybe when they're mad, maybe when they're sad, they start telling you things that you don't want to hear, but they might be the truth in their eyes. But it's always indirect. It's always subliminal. It's always, I'm going to throw this ball into left field off the foul pole, and it's going to hit off the right field foul pole, and then it's going to come back to home plate and hit you in the head. It's some like just ridiculous labyrinth or game that is being played. But you have to sit here and think, what is the person who's projecting, and what the fuck is the intention sitting in them? Like, I don't care the game that it takes to get to me. I don't care if you got to bring up a story about my past. I don't care if you got to make something a flaw about, oh, I have some acne on my face. I don't care if you got to say, oh, your dick game is weak, some like weird shit. What is the intention behind that? And like, if you know me and care about me and accept me and appreciate me, what is the intention of doing that to me? And how does that relate to how you even respect me? And when you start thinking about it like that, you jump so many guns. You don't just jump the gun. You jump so many guns. You damn near like grab the gun out of their hand before they can even shoot it. And then you tell them what they're going to do to their face. And like, even being confident and like attempting to confront insecure people is a problem. Because if these are insecure people that can't control their emotions, then they lash out on you like children. Grown adults lash out on you like children. Because fundamentally, your confidence makes them insecure. And then now they're operating reactionary out of that insecurity and punishing you for making them feel insecure because they don't want to take responsibility for their own emotions. Like, it's, and if anybody from my old life watches my videos, I hope you know, like, I really don't hate y'all. Like, there's so many changes I had to make because I was such a people pleaser, so codependent, so externalized and dependent on the external. Because I wasn't confident in who I was. And I was hoping that somebody's validation outside of myself was going to save me from how little I loved myself, save me from how little I knew how to support myself, how little I knew how to believe in myself, was going to save me from having to go on the journey of having to do those things and having to be confused and be lost and be scared and be maybe I can't say those things, but feeling very negative. So yeah. And I had to recognize the longer that I didn't accept myself, I was just leaving myself at the mercy of other people's expectations of me. Like I was leaving myself, I was creating anxiety for myself based on other people's expectations of me because I didn't believe in myself that I could put my own expectations up and I could accept myself through those. And mind you, I don't look at these things like as a means of like punishing myself, like, oh, like you're a bitch, you're a pussy, blah, blah, blah. Like you need to go harder, like more C4s, oh, slam more beers, Like I really try to look at confidence as something you have to, if you're not confident, it's almost like an energy that you're raising within yourself. And you have to invest in it and you have to be patient with it and you have to love it and you have to be willing to let it be all the negative things that you're rejecting and you have to let it be what it is when you don't want to accept it for that because you want to be more confident than you are. And you have to realize where your confidence doesn't come from the same places that it may come from mainstream society or it may come from your peers. Your confidence may come from doing something completely unconventional in relation to your traditional upbringing. But it's like I had to when I started to realize that being confident, it was necessary to get the things that I wanted in this life and to be the person I wanted to be. It only came with recognizing I was going to have to leave everybody from the life that I was living and approach them from a completely different perspective, from a completely different place in my life where I was fully self accepting, where I was truly confident in myself, where I wasn't willing to sacrifice all the things that I had built and believed in myself for the sake of somebody else who doesn't know me at all and didn't care to support or believe in me is going to validate me in, or for their validation. I had in all of this people pleasing that I was doing, seeking validation, crumbs of it, I was creating an identity for the people outside of me to think that this is actually who I was. Like that I wouldn't have been a different person had I had gotten the validation. And they even got comfortable with that. And I think a lot of people in my life, and I don't want to be like, I don't want this to sound narcissistic at all, but I think a lot of people in my life saw how much value I could contribute and were confused as to why I wasn't spending more time investing that in myself and my purpose and my journey. Why I was so committed to the external world, committed to other people's path and other people's journeys. Why I didn't give this passion, this energy, this fuel, this fire to myself, at least a little bit of it, to see that I can make things happen for myself and live on the other side of that reality. And the people who just saw that me as like an opportunity to say, oh, well, you know, he's giving it to me, so if he's not going to give it to himself, I'll take it. And I realized how many relationships I had created to where I was so codependent on validation. I was so craving the other person to tell me who I was, to show me who I was, to support me in becoming who I was, that I just kept on suspending the responsibility of being that person for myself and developing that relationship with myself. And I'm telling you, like that shit was so, facing that shit is so hard because it just comes with constantly addressing, like, why don't I believe in myself? Like, why don't I take care of myself? Why don't I like myself? Why don't I? And that shit is just so hard because it comes with so many tears, bro, and just being real with yourself, especially after rejecting yourself and not taking the time to really love yourself. Like that shit is it's so difficult to have those conversations. And it just makes so much sense as to why people just resort to alcohol or resort to the external validation, or just going and chasing like the validation of like girls through sex or whoever you're having sex with, or the drugs, escaping that like through drugs. It makes so much sense because if you don't know how infinite and how divine you are in your soul, you will feel like addressing these things are like breaking you down like to the fucking core every time, and not know like that's supposed to happen. That's essential. You're supposed to get broken down to remember how divine you are, and your divine ability to pick yourself back up, your divine ability to relearn yourself and repiece yourself in ways that allow you to deepen the relationship with yourself. So you realize it's not the being broken down that you're supposed to fear. It's never, ever, ever believing in your ability to put yourself together and to build yourself up and to believe and to know that you can do that. That is the only thing that you should fear. And in knowing that, that's when you start taking more risk. That's when you start expressing yourself more. That's when you start expanding yourself more and realizing not doing, not trying, not being, that is hell. That is what so many people are attempting to escape from acknowledging in their lives. That's what they're doing. Just existing in these like I don't hope I'm using the right word, but like these meticulous routines that just help them not ever look in the mirror and go like, am I who the fuck I want to be? Like, are my experiences, my reality, is this world reflecting to me who I want to be, or am I just going through the motions so like I never have to see that, I never have to face that? Is this reality just okay enough? But like this conversation of confidence, it expands deeper like into kind of childhood trauma and just upbringing, and a epiphany that I had, I think a day or two ago, which is because I didn't have like I had two narcissistic parents, and I had to get up and leave. So I not only missed like a childhood, but I also missed like I miss parents right now. So it's like one thing I'm realizing in that I only learned by leaving them so I could reassess what the relationship was outside of me being codependent and just deeply in narcissistic psychosis, is that your mom teaches you to believe in yourself and your dad teaches you how to support yourself. But my circumstance, my dad couldn't even support himself. So I wasn't given an opportunity to see what it's like to take control and responsibility of circumstances. And that hurt, bro. And it's like, it hurt because not only could I not learn how to believe and build up my own self, but every single day I'm waking up and I'm looking and it's being reinforced that like the person that I came from can't even pick up his own bullshit. And because of that, that is leading him to just wallow around and just not do anything and just project all this negativity and all this like fucking bullshit onto everybody. So fuck me even being able to believe in myself, bro. Now I have to deal with fucking helping this dude who can't even get his emotions locked in place right because he can't do shit. And I know there's so many of my peers, especially young black boys that don't have good relationships with their fathers, that wish they could say these things, bro, and wish they could really have that conversation with their dad, whether their dad's dead or in jail or just on drugs or gone with like another family. Like, why the fuck If you can't even take care of yourself, if you can't even take care of your own business, why the fuck would you have kids, nigga? What's the point of, if you can't even support yourself, bro, why are you here enslaving other people to this reality that you can't even maintain? And now I have to be that role for myself. I have to be the man for myself. And I'm not rejecting that responsibility anymore. I'm not afraid of taking that role anymore, but it's just so like recognizing how difficult it already is to be a man, especially in this world. And then no, it's just infinitely harder because the one that brought you here didn't want to take responsibility for shit. And it's so essential to learn. And I don't play into the gender role bullshit, but really I do believe that the masculine energy in the family teaches you, and whether that's the man or just the masculine presenting, the masculine teaches you how to do. The doer, do. Not the person that works a job, just the do. The action, the activity energy. And in that we learn how to, that it's important to get up and go to work every day, whatever that work is for you. It's important to provide for your people, for your family, for your community. It's important to be stand up. It's important to be the anchor for your people. It's important to be responsible. It's important to be the man when other people want to act like children. It's important to be able to invest in yourself and to take care of yourself in the sense of when you need to stand on your own 2 feet because everybody wants to jump off ship and you need a man that, you can do it. Boy or girl, whoever you are, everybody needs that masculine, that energy that says, I can support myself, and in being able to support myself, I can support these people who depend on me. And in not having that, bro, it's just like it's so difficult. And like even some relationships that I had in between making these realizations like have shown me so much that like holy shit, if I had a daughter, bro, like I'm not letting her fucking date no nigga that didn't have no dad. What the fuck? You're never dating a nigga that didn't have no dad. You're never dating a nigga that doesn't have no good role model, male role model in his life. You're not even, this nigga isn't even stepping on my porch without my shotgun coming off the shelf. And I'm saying that with all due respect to every party involved. Because it's just, I know that so many other guys who experience what I'm experiencing aren't as introspective as me. And I'm not saying that to say I'm better than them, but it's like how we behave almost animalistically as men when we aren't raised with that purpose and responsibility and self-respect is crazy. Either just lying sacks of shit or just raging balls of energy that don't know how to contain ourselves. So it's like that shit's like that played so much into my confidence because that masculine side played so much in my confidence because I never did shit. Like because I couldn't support myself, I couldn't support other people, I couldn't support the people I was in a relationship with, I couldn't do things. So I had no finances, no funds, no resources. Like I wasn't doing anything. So I literally couldn't do anything in my life. And I think that was even playing and making me depressed as fuck because I couldn't do shit. And naturally, I'm a neurodivergent alien superhero. Like I like doing cool things and just having fun and living life. And if I need a little bit of money to do it, then shit, so be it. But back then I wasn't in that position. I wasn't raised to be a doer. I wasn't raised to be somebody that can say, you know what, in spite of how I feel, I can continue to do. And in doing, I can create a reality that can help change how I feel. And that will help me. Maybe not just sitting and being a slave to my feelings right now. And that's another thing that I think the masculine helps with. So for those of you who didn't have dads, bro, those of you who didn't have dads, like it's such a responsibility to be that force in your own life. But I'm going to do everything I can to give every bit of advice that I can. And I'm going to help bring in mentors and leaders and resources and everything that we could ever utilize for those of us who weren't fortunate enough to have that male, masculine, that father figure in our lives to help us be who we're trying to become. Because we all deserve it. And you don't understand how much better life gets when you're able to have that energy regulated and intact and intentionally driven in your life, rather than just being a slave to its dysregulation and how it fucks up your whole life. But that and but I'm glad though that I had those relationships, and I'm glad they were as intense as they were, because in really failing those, at least in my own perspective, failing those relationships, I realized that, you know what, like, I this is something that I have to address. Like, I can't keep blaming, oh, she switched up on me, oh, she's talking shit on me, oh, she went and found another nigga, like fuck all that, bro. Like, failing in these relationships and knowing it's because of not being able to be present and not being able to be there, and not just provide money, but provide an experience that could show, like, you know what, I do love you, I do care for you. Like, that showed me how bad I want to do that. And for anybody that I love and I genuinely care for, I want to show you life like you've never seen that shit. But beyond that, I want to show you how I fucking love you, if that's how I feel about you. And I have to be able to support myself to be a person who can even do that. And I had to accept, if I didn't have a dad, but I did have some healthy father figures in my life, and I'm thankful for them, for the time that I had access to them. But for now, I'm realizing, like, you there's only so many role models you could have. At some point, when you get thrown, your back gets thrown against the wall, bro, you gotta be that nigga. You got to be the man that these people have been helping instruct you to be. You've got to be the stand-up character. You've got to be the responsible man. You've got to be the guy that does it all and has all the dad lore to tell your kids or to tell your community, when you finally get to meet them on the other side of all the success that you're supposed to have in this life. But I'm telling you, this world is like built to take advantage of those of us who didn't have good parents and good and had dysfunctional households. It's built to take advantage of us. That's why I do so much work on helping us with our internal, with our energy, with our emotions, with our self-concept. Because I want us to be able to control the things we can control, even if it's nothing to do with money, even if it's just our ability to perceive our reality and accept ourselves. That can do all the difference, saving us from making decisions, rash decisions, that could fucking sabotage our whole entire life over nothing. I'm getting dehydrated again. Is it the ADHD or the autism that makes you forget? Makes you forget when you're supposed to hydrate. All right. But again, that's not even the final part. And the other part of this was that, because my dad was just so, and I don't want to just use like boring words like shitty, but I guess complacent's a better word. And he couldn't believe in himself, or he couldn't support himself. He couldn't do anything. And one thing I think about us as dudes, we have to do things to be able to believe in ourselves. Like, women can believe in themselves without needing to like have any prior evidence. They can just know something's going to happen and then like see it through. We as men, we have to have some evidence, like some track record. And then we can go like, okay, I can do that. I can do it again. Okay, I didn't do it, but I know okay, now I can, like, we have to see. And that's maybe just my perspective as a dude. But let me know, dudes, in the comments, if that's how you feel. But because my dad couldn't support himself and couldn't really do anything for himself, and really if he did anything for himself, he really just took it for himself and then just like didn't reward anybody else, which was sad. But that's a him problem, I guess. My mom wasn't able to believe in herself, and she wasn't able to be supported, and she wasn't able to believe in herself. So the things that she was able to accomplish, it was because of like almost like out of spite. Like, oh, nobody believed in me, nobody supported me, so that's why I believed in myself. And very, very, very negative. But she ended up being a successful person for her respects. And I acknowledge that. I admire that. But still, that's something that I had to realize too. That's not real self belief. That's not real self belief at all to only pursue out of spite. Because you got to sit here and realize this. It's like going to the candy store when you're stoned or when you're hungry versus showing up there after you've just eaten a 5-star meal. 5-star full course meal. And you're just loaded to perfection. And some sweet wine or something on the side of that. And it's just like you're in that itis haze that there's just don't need to fill myself with anything but a good time now. So I don't believe I had to separate myself from it because it's a victim mentality perspective. And for a son that basically was raised by a single mom, because it's like my dad was there, but he was not present at all. I think that's something that we as like children of parents who were like mom dominant may be victims of. Like there's this mom believed in herself because nobody believed in herself, and then she projects that onto you, and you're not necessarily like, and then she can only believe in you in relation to your dad. As sad as that fucking sounds. And raising you is a means of like making you so anti your dad. She doesn't realize how much she's blocking your own like development of being able to be a man and believe in the man that you're supposed to become while doing that. And of course, like it's out of goodness. I mean, I'm assuming it's out of goodness. For my parents, I don't know what the intention was for anything. These niggas was crazy. But for those of us, and for people that have had for boys that are raised by single moms, like really let me know. Do you have, and it could be because of like emotional enmeshment and like this fear of the mom losing a man in her life, which is that I'm pretty sure is weird, and is wrong. But you aren't allowed to believe in yourself, because you believing in yourself and then being able to support yourself through that, like actualization of that belief, means that independence. And that means that mom can't use you as her project or live through you anymore. So then mom stops believing in you. The second like you disappoint the image that mom has of you, or you start to reflect the image of the person that she hates, which is like your dad probably, then it's like, okay, I'm going to stop believing in you. Or I'm only going to believe in you if you're who I want you to be. Or even worse, because I had to go through shit where nobody supported me, I'm also not going to support you. And that shit was just like, and again, like I'm saying this as like a son to a mom, and I understand, especially for any of the girls on my page who are daughters of narcissistic moms. I know it's like 1.5 million times worse for y'all, bro. And I'm sending all my love and condolences to you guys for the healing journey that you go on for that. Because these moms straight up be jealous. And that's what I also think too. That inability to be able to believe and have that delusional belief that a loving mom has in her children is like, it was rooted in almost like, if I show these kids the belief and the love that I didn't get, then they get the things that they want. That only reinforces the belief I didn't get in myself, and how I didn't get the things that I didn't want or I wanted because I didn't get that. So why would I let them have access to the thing that I wanted first and I deserve more than them? But these kids took my opportunity to have that. So now I'm not going to believe in them. I'm only going to believe in them when they're actualizing my dreams. I'm only going to believe in them when they're actualizing the identity that I want them to have. Because if I can't live my dreams and you took my dreams away from me so I could have you, how about I take your life away from you by forcing you to live my dreams? And you're not even believing yourself at the end of the day. You're believing in me because you're waiting to believe in yourself on the other end of the validation that I'm going to give you as your mother. Somebody that's supposed to naturally believe in you and teach you how to believe in yourself. Even if it's delusionally, because you're going to have to learn how to believe in yourself in a world full of people who are rejecting themselves and project that onto people who do believe in themselves. You see how both of those parts come into the confidence equation? That belief is self-acceptance. It's who you know you are before anybody else gets to see you, before any of the world tells you anything. Who you wake up and that voice in your head. I'm a dreamer, I'm an artist, I'm a visionary, I'm a rapper, I'm a fashionista, I'm a porn star. Whatever the fuck I am. Before the world says, no you're not, shut the fuck up. Before the world says that. What's that first thing? What's that little voice in your head saying? And do you believe that? And the best part, go check out my self-concept series right now if you haven't. But your self-concept is going to be the filter that determines whether or not you believe your own bullshit. Whether or not you're willing to believe yourself before you accept the validation of the world that the world's willing to give you. Because validating yourself doesn't come with anything unless you're successful in the world. But the validation of the world, although you have to exchange self-acceptance for it, you get compensated for it. And if you have more compensation to exist and participate in society than the person who is self-accepting themselves and not being compensated for it, then you can just say, so what with that self-acceptance? You can't do shit anyway. You're still broke. But maybe that self-acceptance is leading this person who believes in themselves and their path onto a path, onto a course of ridiculous abundance that one could have never imagined because they never believed in themselves enough to pursue a path that sacrificed compensation for self-acceptance for the sake of being able to see opportunities that allowed for maximum abundance. I'm telling you, bro, like when you start playing this spiritual game, bro, you turn into Benjamin Button on a nigga. You start living like backwards and shit in time and just feed like it's all new shit. But I'm attempting to do my best I can to break down these concepts in as many different ways as I can so they can apply to your specific life and you can start making the moves you need to make. Because all I'm here to do is just to do the dong, 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 just knocking epiphanies in your head. And then you start to reconfigure. And it's not going to be immediately, but it's going to be slowly. These are going to sit on your mind, and then your whole mind is just going to start reconfiguring a little bit. Like, oh wait, life would be better. Life could be life, and it's all going to be within your control and decisions that you can make. And a little side note here, I'll add, this is why I always talk about journaling, and I'll make a whole video about journaling. Journaling is spell work. Like literally spell book magic for human beings. Just being able to write. That's why I honestly think they started putting more of us on the digital shit where like we're typing on keyboards and we're saying things into screens instead of actually writing down our life experiences, writing down our manifestations, writing down our affirmations, and writing them, signing them with our soul into the universe. Through physical means. Okay, back to the point. But you see how all this connects, right? The ability to support yourself, how that ties into your ability to self-actualize. Because if you can't support yourself, then you can't actualize. If you can't actualize, you can't be yourself. And if you can't be yourself, then how are you supposed to engage with your reality? How are you supposed to appreciate the people in your reality? How are you supposed to provide for the people in your reality? If you can't even be and become and actualize from that and be compensated through that. And I'll conclude this video by saying all like the things that I'm saying, when I speak about the masculine and the feminine, I don't speak about like as in a twofold binary. I think about the masculine, the feminine, and this other thing that we don't know of yet. That is, I call it the infinite child, the infinite eternal, the infinite inner child energy or some shit. But in my brain, balance is 3, not 2. It's not binary, it's a triangle. So there's the masculine energy, the feminine energy, and then there is the median eternal child energy that is the unique combination of the masculine and the energy merging together that creates this unique expression that ends up being your actual soul. And what is your soul in human terms? I am. This is why I made that video saying how like I am is one of the craziest spells or one of the craziest forms of magic in our reality, in our society. Because it's you, that eternal child, that fundamental consequence of the masculine and the feminine energy, deciding your reality based on where your 10 toes are right now. Anything else that comes off of that is a reflection off of what you say after I am. And life only gets more radical, more crazy when you are intentional with the I ams that you say. Not, oh, well, I am happy, and you're not genuinely happy. Say how you am, how you are genuinely, and learn how to live within that reality and navigate around that reality and to change and co-create that reality. I'm just like, forgive me. Maybe I'm yelling too much. My ear's tripping. And somehow all of this connects back to confidence in the way that I want you to know. Confidence is not going to come from outside of yourself. You develop your confidence outside of yourself. That confidence is coming from within yourself. You have to know that. That confidence is going to come from within yourself. Bro, I'm so excited. You watch this whole video, I'm so excited to see like who you become. Like, you don't realize so many of us are literally like the coolest people on planet Earth, just hidden beneath these shells, these egos of bullshit, chasing external validation because we're not willing to go on this path. And I know it's scary because like it's literally jumping into the abyss and then hoping that you come back out alive. But as somebody who's sitting there at the bottom of the abyss, at the bottom of River Styx, figuratively, this is a wild fucking journey, bro. And you'll learn everything you need to learn. You'll see everything you need to see, bro. Your back will be right up on the wall, but you'll see everything you need to see. But the only light that you have is your ability to know yourself and your ability to accept yourself. That's the only hope that you have. If you can't do that, wrap it up. Just stay in the matrix, stay in the illusion, stay where things are nice and things are just the way they are because the way they are and they don't have to make sense. But if you know your body, your mind, your soul is calling for more, you know your experiences have just been so shitty to you that you deserve to live just as infinitely amazing experiences as you have shitty ones, welcome to the journey, bro. Welcome to the cause. Welcome to the cause. We're cultivating consciousness here. We're doing so much more than just what the mainstream is doing. We're doing so much more than the trends. We're doing so much more than just trying to fucking get viral. We're out here trying to change lives. Everybody. Influencing every single person. I'm telling you one thing right here. Every one person is like 5 or 6 relationships or connections away from like everybody on planet Earth. Why don't we take care of ourselves enough to make sure that the people that we're influencing are genuinely inspired by us enough to do the things they need to do in their lives so they can inspire the people in theirs? Domino effect of greatness. We're done. We're done with the feeling, with being ashamed of ourselves for being authentic. We're done with the self-rejection because it's cool. We're done with the escapism for entertainment because we don't like ourselves, bro. We'd rather get blackout drunk with people who don't give a fuck about us, bro. Have sex with people who don't fucking like us. Don't even like us. They don't even think we're human. All as a means of not going to that darkness with ourselves. And being forced to open that Pandora's box that we left shoved in the back of the closet, and to see that we've left our inner child to die in there. Because we've left it with so much pain and trauma that we didn't feel like we were strong enough to address in our real lives. So we let it tear up our inner child. And then when we finally go back there and face that, it's so fucking scary. It's so fucking atrocious to look at what we've put our inner child through, what we've left it through, that the only 2 options are to self-destruct or to escape forever. And you cannot run. And you cannot hide forever. Because you're running away from yourself. And it's only a matter of time before you catch up to you. And you have to face who you are. And only you can decide if you're going to be ready for that when that comes. And if you aren't, I don't think I've seen too many people make it back from that other side. But if that time hasn't come for you yet, why wouldn't you start taking care of who you are? Why wouldn't you start developing that relationship with yourself? Why wouldn't you start believing in who you are in a world that is waiting for you to reject that so it can take advantage of you in your vulnerability? If you're struggling to believe in yourself, I hope you understand that I believe in you more than you believe in you. Until you believe in yourself so much that you don't need anybody else to. Always leave with that little bit. I hope you know I care about you like you're one of my own. I'm starting to realize that I don't want to look at this as like a fan to creator relationship. Like unless we're having sex, like it don't. This is my community. This is my tribe. Like y'all, my siblings, damn near. Y'all, my people, and I respect you. You're my family here. And I hope that we can influence each other's lives to be everything that they were ever meant to be while we're here. Even if the world isn't giving us that opportunity to see that or to believe in that in our immediate circumstance. Keep going strong, bro. Keep believing in yourself and keep chasing all those dreams no matter what the fuck anybody says to you, bro. Because people who are actualizing their dreams aren't shitting on the people who are trying to figure them out.